Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the Malacanang Press Corps. Welcome to the press briefing of Spokesman Ernie Abella.
Thank,
Spokesman.
thank you, ASIC Chris. Ladies and gentlemen of the Malacanang Press Corps, we're very fortunate to have as a resource person this morning the Ambassador Designate of the Embassy of Sweden to the Philippines, His Excellency Harold Fries. Ambassador Fries is no stranger to the Philippines. 25 years ago, he was assigned in Manila, where he served as the Embassy of Sweden's second secretary for 4 years. After his tour of duty in the Philippines, Ambassador Fries became the first secretary of the permanent mission of Sweden to the United Nations in Geneva in Switzerland. In 2005, he became a minister of the permanent mission of Sweden to the United Nations in New York. Ambassador Fries is no stranger to the Philippines, not just because he has stayed here, but because he is also married to a Filipina. She is the daughter of Dr. Batumbakal, okay, and that they have two sons. 3 days ago, on November 8th, the Embassy of Sweden reopened its doors in Manila, underscoring the high investor confidence in the Duterte administration, coinciding also with the arrival of the largest Swedish business delegation ever in Manila. To talk about this and new avenues of cooperation for Philippine-Swedish relations, ladies and gentlemen of the Malacanang Press Corps, let us welcome Ambassador Harold Fries of the Ambassador Designate Harold Fries of the Embassy of Sweden. Mr. Fries.
Thank you, Secretary Abella. Good morning, everybody. I am delighted to be here to meet you all. If you like, I can say a few more words about myself and the role of me as ambassador here in the Philippines, and the happy fact that Sweden is now reopening its embassy in the Philippines. I arrived here with my wife a little more than 2 months ago, and we've been working hard in the embassy to prepare for the major business delegation we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here in Manila, and the inauguration of the embassy last Tuesday. The Swedish embassy closed here in Manila in 2008. We had to do this for financial reasons. This was soon after the financial crisis, the global financial crisis, and the Swedish government had to cut costs and close several embassies around the world. But a year ago, the Prime Minister of Sweden decided to reopen the embassy, and he did this in recognition of the very positive developments of this country, not least the economic developments. And the Swedish government realized that there is a great potential in increased trade, investment, people-to-people exchange between our countries. So now, less than a year after that decision, we are opening our doors to our embassy. We're back in town, and I'm very happy about this. And as the Secretary mentioned, I'm new as an ambassador, but not new to this country. I've been here every year for 30 years, at least once a year, visiting my wife's family with my family. The Swedish Minister for Enterprise and Innovation, Mr. Mikael Damberg, was here in Manila this week to cut the ribbon during the inauguration of the Embassy of Sweden. He also headed this biggest business delegation ever to the Philippines, and he had very constructive talks with Secretary Togade and Secretary Lopez, and the business representatives coming from Sweden had very fruitful meetings with the Philippine business counterparts. And the Swedish delegation went back to Sweden very optimistic and hopeful about coming business partnerships with Philippine business partners here. So this week has been an excellent week, I think, for Swedish-Philippine relations. If you like, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have on whatever subject you would like to bring up with me.
Yes, let's recognize Ms. Laila Salaveria of the Philippine Daily Inquirer.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, the European Union, of which Sweden is a member, has expressed concern about the human rights situation in the Philippines. How do you see this affecting the interests of Swedish businessmen, if at all, in coming to the Philippines?
Well, I haven't heard from any Swedish businessmen any concrete hesitancies or concern about doing business here. On the contrary, it's been very positive comments that I have heard.
Sir, may I know which particular aspects do they find positive about the Philippines? Which do they like best about the country?
Well, there are many positive factors here. If we look overall on the fundamentals of this country, it's a country with more than 100 million people, and combine that with the high growth rates. I mean, anyone would like to come here and do business with such a huge and growing market, and a stable inflation, a sound fiscal situation, and very importantly, a young, talented, well-educated, and English-speaking population. So many of the fundamentals are right here for increasing business relations. And then with the new administration, I think there are reforms taken here which are positive for increased business relations. I'm thinking of the 10-point socio-economic program, which we welcome very much. Tax reform is in the pipeline, reduced restrictions in foreign ownership. We're also looking forward to that. You have very large remittances coming in every year, which means that adds to the stability of the economy, and it adds to consumption power, which is a very positive factor. I also think that the President's anti-poverty programs are very welcome. I mean, in the long run, it's critical for any country to get rid of poverty. It's good not only for the poor people, but for the whole society, of course. So all in all, there are many positive factors about the Philippines now. And Sweden, the trade between Sweden and the Philippines is we feel much too low. So there's a great potential for enhanced trade relations and investment relations between our two countries. And I would also like to see during my term here as ambassador that we increase more generally people-to-people exchange. Look at tourism, for instance. I think there are more than 15 times as many Swedes visiting Thailand than visiting the Philippines, which I find hard to understand, to tell you the truth. I mean, so I'm sure that maybe with better infrastructure here in this country, we will see many, many more Swedes coming to visit the Philippines and enjoy your beautiful islands. Also, I would like to promote academic exchange, student exchange. There is some already, but considering the emphasis that Filipinos put on education, your high-quality universities here, that your English skills, everything is set for Swedes to come here to study and Filipinos go to Sweden to study. If we can find some programs then that can facilitate this through scholarships or other ways, I would be extremely happy, and I look forward to do what I can to achieve this. Also, exchange of professionals. I would think that the Philippines would be very interesting for young Swedish tech nerds to come and work here, considering how advanced you are and how business is growing and the IT business is growing here, BPO business. And I know that there are high quality professionals here, that high quality professionals here in the Philippines who should be able to find the work in Sweden. For instance, this year 60 Filipino nurses have been recruited to Sweden for the first time, I think, because there's a need of high quality nurses in Sweden, and you have a lot of them here. The only thing that these nurses need to do is to learn Swedish, but they are put into language courses, and I'm sure that they learn quickly, and I think this kind of exchange could increase significantly between our two countries.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Tricia Macas from GMA Online.
Good morning, Ambassador. Sir, you mentioned about wanting to be involved in the country's defense. Do you want to open this Sweden to the Philippines defense market? So, can we get more information on this or details on?
Well, you may have read something about it. I don't think I have mentioned it here, actually. But
Yeah, I mean, I read it somewhere else,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you mentioned before.
Yeah. Well, it's true that a Swedish company, Saab, a multinational Swedish defense and civilian security company, has opened up a representative office here in Manila just the other day, last Wednesday, and they are looking into business partnerships here, but the Swedish government doesn't have any defense cooperation with the Philippines, or the government is not engaged in any marketing of defense products, but there are some Swedish companies in that sector, and but that has not really anything to do with the Swedish government. And this company Saab, they have very advanced civilian systems and products, which I think could be very useful for the Philippines in terms, for instance, air traffic control for airports, or maritime traffic management, surveillance systems. I mean, you have a huge archipelago, so for safety, I think it could be of interest to look into such modern, advanced systems.
But will the Swedish government be open to have a defense cooperation with the Philippines?
Well, what could happen is if a company would like to sell defense material to the Philippines, then the Swedish government would have to look into this and give some sort of approval. There's a Swedish government agency who gives approval from the Swedish side to such deals. But this is nothing that is on the table right now, and we don't know anything about that.
Thanks, Tricia. Anyone else? I think that wraps up the questions from the Malacanang Press Corps, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you very much. May I maybe pass the floor to Spokesman Abella.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir.
We'd like to appreciate the ambassador, especially for pointing out the opportunities, the positive aspects that they pointed out. It was interesting that he was able to go through more than 10, 15, nearly 20 points of positivity. I took note of that, including a huge market and stable inflation and so forth. We'd also like to recognize those who, some of guests this morning. We have Mr. Frank Evaristo Jr. and Mr. Emmanuel Zamora Muniz of Citibank. For this morning, just like to take up a few points. The Freedom of Information takes effect on November 25. The executive order granting public access to information about government transactions and operations will take effect on that date. This is a new task, as Sec Martin Andanare said, a new task for our fellow government workers as we continue to learn the ropes and will be able to craft mechanisms that may improve efficiency, because this resolve to promote transparency is a big leap for the country's progress. This particular FOI, the freedom of information, the intention to have an freedom of information has been on the pipeline for the past 2-3 decades, and I would like to take note that the President has taken initiative to open up the executive branch to FOI. Second, as we welcome the new President-elect of the United States, it has been noted that people have said that there are similarities between the two, but the President himself has pointed out that their main similarity perhaps may be in their yearning to serve the people and their passion for service. Somebody has already said also that President-elect Trump may find remarkable comfort working with President Duterte. Also, in relationship with the new president, it has been suggested that an independent foreign policy anchored on sovereign equality will be President Duterte's guiding principle in dealing with other nations. Secretary Pernia has mentioned that the pivot to China was a preparation for the presidency of the new presidency, whose protectionist policies are expected to may be affecting remittances from abroad. But he has also said that Secretary Pernia has made mention that we do have a safety net, which the president seems to have foreseen. However, we do look forward to better relationships with all nations. Regarding Malaysia, Malaysia eyes palm imports from the Philippines. There have been some new investments forged by the president during his official trip to China. Malaysian investors are considering setting up palm oil plantations in Mindanao and Palawan, and Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said the businessmen initially planned to develop about 80,000 hectares, but are considering expanding the investment to about 300,000 hectares throughout the Philippines. Secretary Lopez said in Kuala Lumpur, where President Duterte was on an official visit. Malaysia has $63 million in investments in the Philippines, but with this strengthening of ties, we expect more investments. Malaysian companies are also interested in infrastructure and energy investments. That's about it for this day. We have 2 or 3 questions.
Sir?
Yes.
I'd like to pick up on the point that you said that Mr. Trump may have a comfortable relationship with President Duterte. How so?
Simply from taking off from what President Duterte said, they both have common interests, which is service to the people.
With this new administration in January, do you think that we are going to? You said that we want to improve also the relationship with the United States. Are we going to?
Nations, yes.
Are we going to see a shift from the president, from his rhetoric and policies, because of the new administration in the United States?
I suppose no. From what we see is that he will find common areas of interest, and then there will be a convergence on those common areas of interest. Yes.
But the previous statements regarding military exercises, what do you think will happen to that?
We'll see how it unfolds. We'll see how it develops.
Thank you.
Next question, please. Yes.
Good morning, sir. The
Yes.
President mentioned that he believes the police version of how Mayor Espinosa was killed.
Yeah.
How will this affect the ongoing investigation of the police into the incident? I mean, is there a point to continuing it if the President has made up his mind?
No, it's not as if he's made up his mind. The investigation continues, and the whole process will unfold. But at this point, he's simply saying what he has already said, that he will stand by what the police has said, and he will take it as no. It is simply an assumption of regularity. He assumes that what the police have said is along the lines of regularity. Thank you.
So, the PNP investigation is ongoing. So the official report, the final report of the PNP is what he will believe, or the version of the CIDG who undertook the operation,
Well,
because there are two different police
Right.
camps.
So we will go by the results of the investigation, of the official investigation. Okay, thank you.
You mean the RIAS, sir?
The
RIAS, yung level up.
okay.
Regional.
The regional, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Yes.
Sir, last night, President Duterte confirmed that he had reached a deal with Malaysia to deport 7,000 illegal Filipinos in Sabah. So, do we have how will the process move? I think this will be a gradual repatriation.
Yes.
So, are there any initial plans to move this forward?
No. It will take its own course. It has its natural course, and like you said, it will be a gradual repatriation. Okay.
So no, wala pa silang process na napag-usapan during the meeting?
The actual details will have to be worked out.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sure. Anything else? Yes.
So regarding the Marcos burial, I'm sure by this time we have a working date. Has the Marcos family
No.
communicated
The best we can say is it will be within the year.
within the year?
Within the year.
Di naman, sir, November 30 because may lumulutang na.
I cannot say anything along that lines.
Thanks. Sir,
Yes. Go ahead.
yung sa APEC daw, sir.
What about APEC?
Kunyari, I'm disinterested. But the president, is he serious about not skipping it, or has he made a decision not to go or to go?
No, he simply was saying that he was really concerned about the travel. It does take about 24 to 36 hours just traveling. That's about practically 2 days and a half going one way. So it is a concern. But he was simply, I think he was just voicing some concerns about especially that.
But he's going
As far as we know, he is.
at this point.
At this point, there are no cancellations.
Sir,
Yes.
just to follow up, will the president meet with U.S. President Barack Obama? Because I understand this will be their, I don't know, last chance to talk to each other.
Well, officially, I don't think there are any bilaterals. I'm not sure about any bilaterals, but who knows?
But is the president willing to talk to him?
His willingness is up to him. Thank you. Yes, yes, sir.
Sir, just to get the categorical one. Sir, kasi sinabi ng Pangulo na on the Espinosa Slay case, na he will take the version of the PNP. anong PNP to? Kasi there are
I
two
think I
versions.
answered already. I answered already. I think it will be taken up in the higher level. Whatever the official results will be, it will be taken up.
So it's not
He will
yet,
buy-
it's not yet the CIDG PNP.
Basically, he will go by the official conclusions of the investigation.
So it's not yet safe to assume that he is now taking the version of the operatives of the CIDG who killed the mayor.
We cannot say categorically about what versions he was saying, but let us just allow the process to unfold.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else? If not, thank you very much. Happy weekend. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps.